hear your voice, but there ain't no sound. I feel your kiss, oh, but you're not around. I hear your voice, but there ain't no sound. I feel your kiss, oh, but you're not around.
All right, another week in the books and another episode of BetterCast coming your way, joined by Neely. I'm Yelkreb, and this week we're talking about Tier 3 and Tier 1 power rankings. But first, Neely, could you please kick us off with the Tier 4 scores?
Absolutely, Burke. So win 3-2. Eclipsers 3-2 Galaxy. Some would be calling that a big upset with how well Galaxy was doing. Boosters 3-2 Blueprint Order. So many blueprints. And then Minos 4-0's Blackwatch. That was a giant one for Minos because I had Minos at number 8. And what I've been saying is money anywhere because it's everyone's
cutting out
everybody.
Just a bit. Unplug, replug, and then say that all again.
You kind of are.
I am too? Well, that's no good.
A little bit. It's no good.
All right, hold on. I'm going to invite you to a new party. We're going to get this going the right way. Little dilemma. He's talking right now. You can't even hear him. But look at his webcam go. What's up, everyone? We got a lot of people today, dude. That's awesome. Sky Venom was the first one in here. Matey, Rory, McSaucy. All you folks. Alright. I think he joined. Yeah.
Alright, hello.
Alright, that's better. Do I sound okay to you?
You do. I think I had an installation going, so that was probably part of it. So that is my apologies.
Oh, no problem.
So it's probably I was probably just lagging, and that's probably why you were lagging. So
could have been.
I'll just start right over. Sorry about that for everyone watching live.
Tier 4 scores. No, it's no problem.
Yeah. So, I'll repeat myself, but here we go. So Titans 3-2 revamped. Eclipsers 3-2 Galaxy. That would be kind of looked at as like an upset, I believe, to some people, but Eclipsers looking pretty good there. Galaxy was doing well. Boosters 3-2 Blueprint Order. And Minos 4-0's Blackwatch. And to me, that's a gigantic win.
Yeah, that's huge.
Not only like for map score, but I had Minos at number 8 in my power rankings and Blackwatch at number 1. And I knew having both of them in both of those locations wasn't entirely accurate. It's just based off scores and what I really had, available. That's just how I kind of had to put it. Because Tier 4 is so close. It's all been 3-1s. I think that's our first 4-0 in Tier 4 there. And every other matchup this week, just proves the point of how close everybody is because every single game was a 3-2. Every single game except for the 4-0 on Blackwatch. And that was the one that was last in my power rankings, top in my power rankings, and just flipping the script. So I'm really glad I don't have to do power rankings for them this week because I would not know what to do. I need Minos to play another team. I need Blackwatch to play another team just so I can kind of figure that mess.
Like we were saying last week too, Tier 4 is definitely the league that's the closest competition so far. The power rankings seem to get jumbled all the time. And I think Minos just let go a lot of their roster, and the replacements that came in, are clearly all T4 carry potential players because Blackwatch, I was talking to Zach, and Zach was saying how it's not really their patch, but I don't know if it's really anyone's patch, so nothing to take away from Minos there, but Minos is looking real sharp now.
If we were to take anything away from Minos is that they dropped a map to a Tier 3 team in scrims, so, watch out for that. No, I'm just kidding. They were running dive the whole time with Spark Chief on DPS. So, anyway, moving right into Tier 3.
Yeah,
we have Yeah, we've got Golden Hour beating Deathwatch 3-2, absolute nail biter of a game. Yelk DC's Unlockers,
I know.
Thesis 3-2, Hindsight Feeders, very close game. Actually, a reverse sweep for Thesis. So, big win for Thesis, but with some of their new additions like Decoy, you'd like to see them take down a team like Hindsight a little bit easier, but you know. Who knows?
Hmm.
Deep dive, another convincing 4-0 over Icarus. Icarus getting knocked down. They're not number one. They wanted it so bad. They ask for it all the time. Or they want that number one, number two, but they're not going to earn it in the game. Redemption, 4-0 Solar Flares. Solar Flares, grasping at straws. Don't have an answer. This patch is not what they scrimmed. They've lost two of the players they spent 2 months scrimming with and not losing. This is looking tough.
It is tough.
Reforged 4-0 Rampage, but I actually think Rampage is out, so apologies on that one. I don't know why it was put in the scores. Maybe that's how they're doing it. I don't actually know.
Hmm.
And STB 3-2 over Blueprint Riot. Super close game. Right until the end, basically, I'd say. I only got to see the back half of that game because I had a scrim going on. But it was 2-1 Blueprint Riot, and then Havana came up and Pile Eyes put on Widow, and he just destroyed everybody. And that
Yeah.
that was the tail of the tape for Havana. And then once that happened, I think Blueprint kind of maybe boomed a little bit, but they played close on Control. They got 2-0 on Control, but they were both winnable, and they weren't able to yank it out in the end. So STB takes the 3-2, but you know doesn't look as good for STB. Are they one of the stronger teams? I think they'd like to be, but Riot's also not known as a strong team. So when it's close like that, it's kind of hard to move them around too much in your power rankings. And speaking of power rankings, let's get right over to it, right?
Yeah, man, I guess so. But
Well, do
first,
you?
I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about
Oh
a
yeah.
couple of the games that happened. So, like the Deathwatch Golden Hour game, zero Roadhog. Like not even 30 seconds of Roadhog got played in that entire game. It was
Hmm.
right down to the wire. They definitely had the better of us on Control. We just couldn't figure out Control, and they eked it out. They got both Control maps, and I think they stole King's Row. So they were looking really good. And I mean, that's kind of like the first that I've seen of them. I've heard, through the grapevine that they were a good team, but I actually got to like see it and feel it a little bit last night. And yeah, their tank line's solid. We both just kind of ran the Rhine Sigma the whole game, and it was a close battle. Pluto, our off tank, got player of the match, but I mean, Golden Hour definitely showed up that game.
I thought they
Okay.
didn't give player of the match to the losing team. Actually, I mean, I think it's like if there's a player of the match, there's a player of the match. I think it's warranted, especially at 3-2. A losing team could definitely get it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was close
But
enough,
yeah.
and Pluto definitely did a lot that game. Way more than I did. I fed a lot. I had some flashes of greatness, but I fed a lot. But yeah, I guess we'll just
Hmm.
go right on to the Tier 3 power rankings, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
Do you
man.
want to kick that off, or you want me to just read mine?
I guess I'll rip mine. So,
All right.
not. I mean, some teams like Golden Hour moved a ton in my power rankings because I had them ridiculously low, but Deep Dive staying at the top, no change. Thesis going up a spot, and they're going to take that number 2 spot. And Golden Hour jumping 10 spots, just leapfrogging the standings up to number 3. Death Watch down 2 into number 4. Carpet Pizza and Icarus, no change right there. Hindsight Feeders is going to move up. And then Super Trash Bros, even though they won, I got them going down 4 because I feel like a lot in these power rankings, like there were some teams that were just kind of undersold, like Golden Hour for sure. Thesis definitely looking a lot stronger. And Super Trash Bros, I kind of had them up top, but I would have liked to see him do a little bit better against Blueprint to be in that like top 5, top 3 even ranking where I had him. So got them dropping 4. Redemptions at number 9. They're going to move up 1 spot. Solar Flares, another week, falling 3 down to number 10. Reforged is going to go up 3. And then the final 2 are Blueprint Riot moving down 1 and SR Goblins at 13.
Pretty decent look. I think it's kind of close to mine. I wasn't, comparing them directly, but I'll just pop right into mine here for tier number 3. I have Deep Dive moving up 1 spot, +1 to actually claim their number 1 spot. Not that they hadn't earned it before, but, you know, the only 1 week it happened, and I still had a lot of Death Watch stonks in there. But Death Watch dropping a game here to Golden Hour, a pretty good team, I think. You could say different patch. Who knows what this next patch will bring for us? I have Death Watch only dropping one spot, and it's just because I would rather see them basically prove it to me that they deserve to get dropped more than one spot. One bad week's not like a big deal, especially against a pretty good team. So, and then no movement, Carpet Pizza at number 3. Number 4, Icarus, no movement. And up 3 spots, Golden Hour to number 5. The same thing as Yelk here. Super Trash Bros wins, Thesis wins, but they're both going to move down 1 spot. Super Trash at number 6 and Thesis at number 7. They both went the distance against both their teams. I don't think they went the distance against the strongest teams by any stretch. So I don't see them gaining as much as like SR. I don't see them gaining as much as like say a Golden Hour, who I think deserves 3 spots, taking, not just playing close with Death Watch, but beating them. And I know a few of their players, Fury and Water. They're both really good players for Arc Flash, and I'm sure they're bringing a lot of that to Golden Hour. Let's see, number 8, we have Blueprint Riot. Same thing, down 1 spot. They lost their game, but they played close. I think they've always taken a map so far. They have never been 4-0'd. I mean, that's kind of like Strike last season. Never got 4-0'd in the regular season. So that's a positive for them, but they're down 1 spot to number 8. Redemption plus 3 spots at number 9. I think they could maybe go up a few more spots, but I think once teams start figuring out how to beat this Roadhog Zarya, and they don't play a team like Solar Flares that just, throws the deck of cards in the sky and has no idea what's going on, they're going to have a little more trouble. So if they beat another good team, or a good team, I should say, I think they could be moving up a lot of spots above, I think, number 8 and 7 and 6. And then at number 10, down 5 spots, Solar Flares, looking to drop even more if they keep it up. Number 11, Hindsight Feeders, no movement. Number 12, Reforged, plus 2. I don't think they played this week. I think they kind of had a bye week because of a forfeit, because of a team that backed out. But they scrimmed against Solar Flares, and they did pretty well. So, I'll take them up a notch. And then SR Goblins, no movement, number 13. But that will, in comparison to last week, or the last time we did these, there was a whole nother team called Rampage. They do not exist anymore, and there's no 14th spot. So, SR Goblins will be coming in last at number 13 on the power rankings.
Yeah, man. Like you were saying about Fury and Water, definitely good players on Golden Hour. Definitely look out for them. I think Farah might be getting changed a little bit in the experimental patch later, Cam. But she's got like insane movement right now, and Deathwatch is a team that like has some pretty good hit scan stocks. Like we got a lot of stock in our hit scan players, and Fury was just kind of cutting us up on Farah. Just a lot of the maps in the map pool this week were definitely pretty good Farah maps, but he was definitely making it work at the same time, showing us what maybe we're a little weak in, but who knows.
Put in work.
Exactly. All right, so
Absolutely.
you got some tier 2 scores for me?
I have all the scores, actually, if you were curious, but yes, we're going to be going right into tier 2. So, Blueprint Chaos, 4 O's, Lucky 13's clubs. Convincing, as far as I could tell. I still got to see some of it until my power went out, and I didn't get to watch my work play. I was very sad. But 4-0, convincing win. Nothing much else to say there. Daedalus losing 3-1 against Event Horizon.
That's
that
a
is a
big game.
gigantic win for. It's a big win for Event Horizon because they've done nothing but win. I think there's a lot of undefeated teams, Blueprint and Event Horizon being 2 of them right now. And I'll have to, once I go through these, I'll actually see if I can find any more that are undefeated. I'm thinking there might not be, but we will see. And I'm sure Twitch chat will let you know. But that's a huge win, 3-1. It's a pretty convincing win, but it's also not the most. It's not a 4-0. I didn't get to see the game once again, but Event Horizon taking that is gigantic. I think that's going to move them up next week in the power ranking, especially if they win again. This is looking like one of the strongest tier 2 teams right now, right alongside Blueprint Chaos. Sinister Spitfire 3-1 over Hindsight Magic Erasers. We got a little input on this one. I forget the main tank's name for Sinister Spitfire, but I heard it was a lot of Ryan pins in and the team, follows through, kind of like some Dex time action from last season on No Daylight.
Constructive feeding. He's really good at feeding.
Constructive feeding.
He takes after me and many other main tanks in Better Academy.
Absolutely. So Sinister Spitfire, 3-1s, Hindsight, Magic Erasers. Lot of stonks in there. Reinhardt, I guess, going hard in the paint. Might lose to some stand-up Reinhardts, but will take a team down that's not ready for that. Not ready to get absolutely run down. Anyways, moving right along, Blackout, big game right here, 3-2 over No Daylight, close game. Some might have called it the Seabass difference on Roadhog. He's gonna be the tier 2 Roadhog difference. We talk about it on BetterCast almost every week, and for the past couple weeks. And well, I mean, 3-2 game, that's close. That's not like a blowout, but those are two of our top teams, and Blackout, they came out on top with the 3-2.
Same thing that happened last regular season, Blackout getting the 3-2 win, taking the first maps off of No Daylight that they lose all season, so definitely a close game. Seabass is insane.
Absolutely. Seabass is insane. He is hoping that Roadhog stays a matter. He hopes that Anna gets any nerf that she can so that she's not as good. I mean, I'm saying at this point, just make it so Roadhog's heal cleanses anti-nade. Why not? Let the man run around. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't do that. Please, for the love of God. All right, moving right along. Lucky 13 Diamonds, 3-2 over the Shadow Wolves. Another close game. A lot of close games this week. 3-1s and some 3-2s. We like to see it all over the place. It means the teams are close. Taking space, 3-1 over Legion. Another one of those highly rated teams grasping at straws in a tough way right now. Down 0-3 on the season, and we feel you over on Solar Flares, looking for anything you can grab a hold of, and they're not finding it, just like we aren't right now. Unless in scrims they're running everybody like we like to. We like to win every scrim, but lose every league game. Anyway, moving right along. Galactic Stars 3-0 over 0G. That is a 3-0. There is a tie in there. Captains, list your ties. It just makes it better for me to write down. I like it a lot more because then I can be sure of it. I don't think like, oh, maybe they played 3 and then they just thought it was over, because I know some people think that because that's how Overwatch League does it now.
Oh, man. No, Kim, your mic got muted, you dummy. His controller died. He doesn't know it. I'm calling him, chat. I'm calling him. Where'd he leave off? Somebody type in chat where he left off.
I hate everything, dude.
Hey, man.
I hate everything. How long was I out?
Not that long.
Okay.
Like 30
Where
seconds.
did I end?
That's a fantastic question.
Did I say Shelly 4 Funk?
What's the game before that?
Galactic Stars over 0G.
That's where you ended, yeah.
All right, so Galactic Stars 3-0 0G. And then rounding out Tier 2, all the teams got to play. All 16 teams played, and Shell 4-0's Funk. Shell looking like a pretty strong team, and they lost pretty convincingly to Blueprint Chaos. I got to see that game, and I think them looking good just makes Blueprint look even better. So we'll have to see where they go in the power rankings. I think as the owner of Blueprint, I'm gonna have to probably put them at number 1 now, with No Daylight taking a loss. So now I think we're just waiting for the Blueprint Blackout game.
Yeah, that's got to be an insanely good game.
Next week.
I know.
It's next week.
This week, right?
I mean, we'll talk.
Like this week?
Yeah. I have it written on this piece of paper, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If this doesn't get BA in production, because I don't think when we talk about games of the week, I don't believe we're listened to at all. It's just whatever works for Eddie, which is fair to Eddie, but I think if we're gonna put any hype around certain games, listen to my list that I make every week about games of the week. It's pretty accurate. I look at all the games and I go, when are going to be good games? They're good games.
This week we have a lot of good games. Like every tier has a really good game.
Yeah, I could have picked a few from tier 4, and I last week I picked 2 for tier 2, but I did not this week. Anyway, I gotta go. We gotta get into T1 and talk about power rankings for that too. So let me get right. Let's just keep it right moving, and hopefully my mic doesn't disconnect again because I hate that. I'll have to move the stick while I do this.
That's all
Anyway,
right.
tier 1,
Yeah.
Night Watch, 3-1 over the Protectors. I'm getting so boomed over that name, dude. I'm like protectors. I just can't. Burke said, "Did you type in prostitutes?" I'm like, "Did I? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I typed in." And next up, Shell, yeah, 2-1 over Labyrinth. That's a big game right there. Labyrinth kind of getting knocked down once again. Zero G taking the 3-2 over Heroic Hurricanes. That's a good performance from Heroic Hurricanes considering Zero Gravity last week beat Labyrinth. So that's some good, 'cause after Zero G, forfeited their first game, I was like, I don't know about these guys, and their tier 2 hasn't been looking too strong, so their stocks were low, and they come back playing, they win 2 games, and against Labyrinth is a team that we all thought was pretty good, and maybe not this season. We'll have to see. And then rounding out tier 1 is Blueprint Havoc 3-2ing HLA. That was a big game. That was a reverse sweep. Can't reverse sweep without losing the first 2. Good words of Yelk right there.
Exactly.
But that was a big game for them. They ruined my general chat in Blueprint. Lots of heads bobbing, cats bobbing their head meme thing. I don't know. I'm old.
Cat Jam.
Cat Jam, whatever. Yeah, we have a channel for it now that I cannot wait to delete. I hate dumb channels. So much.
Do you have any more scores?
Counting channel, BA, the counting channel. I'm coming for you.
No,
I hate
counting
it.
channel's
Anyway,
legit.
scores. Counting channel is the dumbest thing ever. Dumb channel. Can't change my mind. No, that was it. Blueprint Havoc 3-2 over HLA was the last score that I had. There might have been another game or like a bye or something. Those are all the games that were listed. So I got them all in. Maybe there's one more. I didn't check. If they're not listed, guys, you're not getting your scores read. This already takes long enough to prep, so, do your part, please. All I have to say.
You tell them.
Well, look, put in that, if you tie, put that extra 1 in at the end. That's how you do it. Thank you very much.
Is that all you got for scores?
T1 power rankings?
Yeah, man.
That's it.
All right, I guess I'll kick off the power rankings. I'll give you a little break. No movement in the top 2 spots. I've got Night Watch at number 1 and Blueprint Havoc at number 2. Shell Shocked moving up 2 places into the top 3. And Labyrinth dropping 1 spot into number 4. Zero Grav also getting a generous jump, going up 4 spots into number 5. Vigilance has no movement at number 6. HLA is going to drop 3 spots into number 7. And the Protectors and Heroic Hurricanes are going to round out 8 and 9. So, yours are looking kind of similar. HLA is in a bit of a different spot. Labyrinth a little lower on yours than mine, but I mean, I feel that Labyrinth is kind of, I don't know, they haven't looked quite as sharp. Maybe these teams are pretty good.
Yeah, Labyrinth stocks are low. I'm kicking them in the teeth with my power rankings. But honestly, for how they performed, I think I'm being generous at this point, to an extent. I think they're right where they belong on mine, but we'll get into that. I don't need to not bash him or anything. I just think I'm accurate. That's all. So, Night Watch, no movement, number 1. Shell Shocked, +3 at number 2. I think those two could flip-flop. I could see Shell Shocked taking them. Shell Shocked has looked rather dominant this season. They've probably earned the number 1 spot. But the problem is when I have a team at number 1 and they haven't convincingly lost yet, I don't see a purpose in moving them around. So,
I'm the same way.
Next at number 3. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, what do I move them for? I mean, they haven't played each other. There's no, just number 2 and number 1. That's pretty good. That's basically the same thing when it comes to power rankings.
Yeah.
Number 3, Blueprint Havoc, down 1 spot. I think, maybe a little generous up there. They have a forfeit win in there, but they beat HLA, and HLA's at my no movement at number 4. Both of these teams not the worst. I think middle of the pack could really just flip-flop any which way for tier 1 right now. I think number 3 to number 6 could really just, anyone could beat anybody right now. Number 5, Zero G, up 4 spots. And the reason I had them so low in week 1 was because they forfeited their first game, and I had nothing to go off of. So take the last.
Yep,
I mean,
that's what happens.
you couldn't get your squad there, last place. Unless I know something about you.
We did the same thing with them. We
last
both
place.
moved them up 4 into number 5. So
Yeah, perfect. And then down 3 spots, Labyrinth at number 6. I mean, they lost to 0G. They lost to another team that I cannot recall right now, and they beat Vigilance only 2-1. I'm assuming there was a draw in there because I know there was, so 2-1 to 1. And I have Vigilance at -1 at number 7. So the only team Labyrinth has beaten, I have in the bottom of the pack right now. So
yeah,
Labyrinth hasn't showed me that they can beat a good team. They've lost every time. So I think number 6 is pretty good because I think they have a good chance over my number 8 spot, which is the Protectors.
Mm-hmm.
And then at number 9, I have Heroic Hurricanes because they haven't shown a win either. But on the Heroic Hurricanes, just like I read in the scores, they went 3-2 with 0G, which I think lowers 0G stocks maybe a little more than it raises Heroic Hurricanes.
I think you're
stocks,
right.
but,
Yeah.
I think we both kind of went, 0G hasn't technically lost unless they forfeited yet. They beat Labyrinth as a team that everyone wants to think is good. And, I think we thought would be good. But who knows? This could Heroic Hurricanes going 3-2 against 0G could actually lower 0G stocks and Labyrinth stocks altogether. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got Labyrinth right where they deserve to be. I do think me putting them at number 4 is a little generous, but they've got a pretty big game this week, and that's definitely going to be the proving game for me as far as Labyrinth goes.
Yeah. Like I said, I think number 3-6 could really, maybe 3-7 could really just toss up in the air.
Yeah, I think
But
you're
I think
right.
a lot of tier 1 can kind of do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got 8 and 9, or did you already say those? Protectors and Heroic.
Yeah, Protectors and Heroic.
All right. Okay, man. I think that's going to bring us on to match of the week and maybe some predictions as well. Sound good?
Yeah, we'll give some thoughts. I don't have any rounded up, but I think,
No, me
hot
neither.
take predictions is kind of what we're looking for anyway. So, predictions. You want me to go right for it here?
Yeah. Just give us the games of the week
Uh,
first. We'll start with those.
Oh, well, that's actually all I have. So you're gonna have to. I see what you're
That's
saying.
all
I
I
see
have
what we're
too,
doing
so
now.
we're doing that. Game of the week
Yep.
plus
Our
predictions for the
Game
games of the week. All right.
All right, tier 4. All right, we've got tier 4. I have Minos versus Cat Pack. I think another one that could have been a good one would be. I forget the schedule now, but I believe it would be the Eclipsers game because a lot of
Eclipsers
hot button
Galaxy,
issues
right?
around them.
Is that the
No,
game?
they just played.
They
and
just
Eclipsers-
played.
No, because Eclipsers just beat Galaxy.
Okay.
There was another one. I do not recall. But regardless, I have Minos versus Cat Pack because Minos 4-0ing and getting a roster swap up. And 4-0ing my number 1 seed is huge. Cat Pack has won and lost games. I don't know where anybody truly is for tier 4, but to me this has looked like a strong game. I would suggest anyone going out to see it.
Yeah.
Tier 3, Thesis versus Golden Hour. Golden Hour moving up a lot in those power rankings for both of us, looking really strong, and Thesis making some roster moves with main tanks, not main tanks, that was the other team in that org. But getting a new DPS player that used to play for Solar Flares, very strong DPS player. So I think that matchup could be gigantic, could be huge. A lot of power rankings could get changed off of it, and I think it could just be I think it's gonna be a 3-2 game type thing. What do you think?
I think it definitely could be the Thesis game. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be
Yeah.
the battle for, I think that's Group B, right? Or is that Group A? Whatever it is, it's like the battle for first place in that group, whatever group they're in. So, I'm the commissioner.
Oh, it's Group A.
I should know. It's Group A.
No, it's group because it's your group. I know I don't get to play any. Oh no, wait. Yeah, that's Group
Yeah,
A.
Group A. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a battle for first
Yeah.
place, and I think
Mhm.
Golden Hour looks pretty good on this patch. Thesis, They add a decoy, which is good. That's going to make the team stronger, but maybe the chemistry's not quite there. That could be why they dropped their first couple of maps in their last game. You don't know. So I think Golden Hour can definitely put up a fight.
The thing with Thesis though is that I know Decoy and Dragon VII play on a CGL team along with Honey. They're all friends, so I think they do have some like ranked synergy, and they have CGL scrim experience. So that's why Decoy is over there. So
yeah, I mean they're good. I got them at number 2. I mean
they should be strong. Anyway, Tier 2 game of the week. I think this is a no doubter. I could have put another one in there.
This is like the BA game of the week.
This should be a stream 1. 50 viewers. This should be a hot game to watch. Blueprint Chaos versus Blackout. Both teams look really strong, top in the power rankings. I don't see any weaknesses in Blueprint. I don't see any weaknesses in Blackout right now. Blackout's only gotten better by them having one of the best Roadhogs. I think Blueprint has a Roadhog that could match them. But the thing is that Blueprint's Roadhog is not a one-trick. And he can play the Sigma and the Zarya when it's required, and he's gigantic every time he plays him. That's sleeping. I think I mention him probably every week.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the best. I think he's probably, in my opinion, now I don't know all the Tier 2 off tanks, but I think he's probably the best all around. Because he was going to play on a Tier 3 team, and then I realized his SR would work for Tier 2, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
anyway.
Sleeping's nasty. I think as far as predictions
3-2.
go, yeah, 3-2. You said 3-2, but for Chaos or for Blackout?
I'm going Chaos because I have to. I mean, that's just
okay.
I think it's a no-brainer.
I'm gonna go.
I think we're
3-1 Chaos.
3-1 Chaos. I think where Blackwatch could like show up is in DPS picks, because I know for Blueprint Chaos, a lot of their stonks are in tank and support. Now you got Hurricane, XCRC. I won't say what the CR stands for, but Hurricane on the support, really strong. And then the 2 tanks for Blueprint, both ISR, both very good. And it's not that our DPS are bad. They can literally play everything from what I've seen. But I think when it comes to SR, they are the lower end of it. And, you do have to take that into account. I think Blackout isn't exactly like that. I think they have they have Shrimp, correct?
Yeah, Shrimp and Mossimo.
Yeah. Former Tier 3 player on Blackwatch, so
yeah, balances out. It's gonna be a great
him.
game. Honestly.
It's gonna be a good one. And then for Tier 1, we already kind of talked about it with power rankings.
Yep.
But Labyrinth versus HLA. It's gonna be a big game. Because I think both of them have kind of struggled a little bit. They've both shown some stuff they can do, that they're not the weakest teams out there. But Labyrinth versus HLA is going to be, I think it's going to be a good game. And it's going to kind of decide if my power rankings are kind of right. If Labyrinth comes out and dominates HLA, Labyrinth is going to be number 4 again, and HLA is going to be way down. But I've kept HLA up there for a few weeks now. And this is like the proving ground, I guess you could say.
Yeah, this week's going to change a lot of things in Tier 1 for sure. Just with like that one game, it's going to shake things up without a doubt. I've got Labyrinth winning that game. I think it'll be close. I don't really know what the score is going to be. Maybe a 3-2. That's what I'll go with, I suppose. But I think Labyrinth is going to squeak out the win.
I'm going HLA in a 3-1. That's my prediction.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Labyrinth definitely needs to prove themselves, like right now. This is the week, without a doubt. A lot of teams are in that spot, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, goddamn it, if Solar Flares isn't in that spot, I don't know who is.
Yeah, man.
I think Solar Flares and Legion are in the same exact boat right now of just like, we thought we were good. We do well in scrims. People think we're good. And then in a game, we just throw the circus at them and do nothing.
You see anything interesting happen in any of the games you watch? Like, I know Rory got to play a little bit of main tank. I heard he hit a shatter. I don't know what it looked like.
I didn't see it either. I was mentally boomed in another room.
Oh, okay.
I watched some of it, but I didn't see him actually get the big shatter. I did see him on Reinhardt because we'd already lost. It was
Yeah.
map 4,
Waving the
and
white flag at
we were
that
just
point.
like, yeah, we weren't gonna throw, but we were just like, I had no answer for anything. I wasn't like, I had already lost 3 maps. I was like, I was like, try anything. I was like, toss Rory on Hog. That was like kind of the game plan. Just toss a DPS player on Hog, and maybe he just pops off and like gets us a map win.
You never know.
Keep our main tank out there, and then our main tank ended up playing Winston Ball, and then Rory was on Reinhardt. So, just kind of that is kind of I think why you have your tank players stay out there,
Yeah.
when it matters. But because in our situation we do have a lot of people that can play a Reinhardt. Rory is not one of them, but
No, I wouldn't.
you
I
know,
wouldn't
I think
say
we have like
so.
I think we have 3 people on that team that can play Reinhardt in a meta where people aren't respecting Reinhardt too much, but we've
I don't
got
know,
some
man.
plans.
Ryan could still be meta. I mean, like I said, zero Roadhog got played in our game. I mean, it's hard to say what would happen if a Roadhog got slapped on when we played Golden Hour. Like, if either
Yeah.
team honestly did it, but I don't think either of our teams had a Roadhog player. Like, I know for a fact Deathwatch doesn't, and it looked like Golden Hour has like a 3,700 Ryan player, and then they've got like a high diamond or masters like Sigma One Trick, so they're looking pretty similar. I mean, I'm no 3,700
Sounds like
player,
me.
but yeah. I
The
think
Sigma
a lot of
one. The guy who grinds Sigma for 2 months. Jesus, sorry.
teams are in
Malding.
that spot though, without a doubt. I mean, Pluto's there right now. He was kind of working the Sigma, but you could also tell like it's just not the same. You get away with so much less.
So much less. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think
You
I
have,
just need to grind him in ranked or something. What do I have?
do you have the experimental patch
Patch
notes? Yeah, you want to talk about those?
I do.
If anyone
They
in
just kinda
chat
went live, I believe.
has anything that they want us to talk about too, like type in chat. I'll be reading chat, and when we're just talking about these patch notes, I'll try and see if I can read something interesting. If any of you are interesting today, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it slow and just feel free to cut me off whenever or come in with anything that you think. I heard some people saying, why are they nerfing Anna? And I checked, and here's the first one right on the list is ammo reduced from 14 to 12. I mean, is it a nerf? I mean, yes, it's a raw nerf, but it's not healing. It's not a sleep cool. It's not a cooldown change. I mean, it just makes you have to reload 2 bullets sooner.
Yep.
It is important, but it's not like it's if Roadhog's in and if Anna's supposed to be meta, she's gonna be meta. She always came into meta when she was supposed to before when she had 10 shots. The 2 decrease I don't think is a big deal. This is actually a pretty big deal. I don't have the numbers on it. I saw some people talking about it, but for Ash, the Viper, max ammo reduced from 14 back to 12. That's just a revert for all intents and purposes. And then secondary fire, aim down, or yeah.
Oh, hey, I hear you. You hear me? Ah, well, something
yeah.
patch notes. Ah, you're back.
Mike died. I knew right when it died. I heard it that time. So the secondary fire, the aim down sights damage reduced from 85 to 80, and I know that has a lot of breakpoint potential, just with fall off and headshots and body shots, no pocket. It's gonna be important. I think it's probably just gonna be more important, just that like an Ashe without a pocket might not be very good, but what might make her good is that later on McCree has some issues. You got anything, Bert?
From Twitch chat, there's a couple things, but I don't know about the changes to Ash and McCree. I mean, we're definitely moving into what feels like a double hit scan meta. And if Roadhog doesn't change, and when you play the ranked ladder, there's no shields out there, it's going to stay that way. So I see why they're nerfing the hit scans, but I don't feel like they're the heroes that really need the nerfs. But I think for a few patches in a row, like moving Genji more into the meta and stuff like that, I think Blizzard doesn't really want to see 2 hit scan be the thing. I think they'd like to see some variation in the DPS because every other game out there is hit scan. If you're playing Overwatch, if you're on DPS, hopefully because you're looking for something a little different. So I guess I understand why they're moving hit scan a little more out of the meta, but I think they'll still be strong. Chat is asking if we could rank tanks or like maybe do like tier 3 main tanks or tier 2 main tanks. I don't really know all of them, but I mean,
Yeah, dude, there's so many, dude. Like, I scrim at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have some event Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then for CGL I have something probably Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'm gonna spend one night with Kate. Like I don't have time
Nah,
to watch all the
can't
games. Like
learn
I
everything.
tune in. I
Four
tune
different
in on some
tiers.
streams, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, but I mean, like anybody who's here, like I know you're asking because you're like, oh, where's my team gonna be in that, right? But
right.
think about it this way, like how much do you know as a tier two player? I don't know who asked, but as like a tier two player, what do you know about every tier three tank? Like I could probably do tier three to an extent, but even some of the tier threes, like I don't know the hindsight team. Like I haven't scrimmed them. I don't know anything about them. I don't. They're not in my group. I don't need to know anything about them. You know.
Right.
So it's just kind of tough.
They did
And I
just get
mean,
reverse
I
swept
don't know if
too.
it's
I mean, Thesis did pull that off. I don't know what's up with
yeah,
Thesis, but and I like you were saying, I know about as much as hindsight as you do. I don't think we've scrimmed them once even, but taking two maps off of Thesis early, they're my number 2 ranked team, so like maybe they can just show up and come to play, or maybe Thesis just needed those first 2 maps to like flip the switch and
warm up round.
turn it on. Yeah, exactly. Couple of warm up maps for them, but I don't really know where hindsight's at. But Thesis definitely a team that doesn't give up. You know, after map 2 going down, they stay in there for map 3, 4, and 5. So that's good to see.
Absolutely, swing factor.
Talk about how washed G Money is. G Money is currently like a 4,200 player and is definitely not washed.
Not washed.
Definitely not washed.
You go against him.
Yeah.
Tell me how you do.
Play him on ladder or a league game. He's definitely not washed.
Not washed. Maybe he had one bad game.
Definitely not boosted either.
Like,
Plays so much Overwatch. He's got like a few hundred games played on DPS in those long queue times, and he can play pretty much everything too. So G Money, 10 out of 10, not washed.
Not washed and not afraid of the ranked ladder. Like I'd say 80 to 90% of all of you guys are.
He's not camping
afraid
his
of the ranked
SR
ladder.
one bit,
He's
dude.
not
He's
camping
going
it.
for it.
He's not playing on alts. Like, and
No.
if he's playing on alts, it's to play with friends. Like, it's not just to play. He's not solo queuing on alts because he thinks like he can just have fun at a lower SR. He's playing that SR. He's earning it. He's gonna deserve that tier 4 next season.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe even tier 5. I mean, he's right on the doorstep of tier 5 SR. So
It's gonna be hard to
Who knows,
sign
man?
for tier 4 already. As
Yeah.
a tier 3 player, it's gonna be hard to sign to a
already
tier 4 team.
a nightmare to sign.
Tough. But you know, the thing with him is he'll probably be at 3,700 next week, and then the week after that he'll be at 4,400. You know, that seems to be the path, the arc, the G Money story, as far as I get to see it, as far as I've seen it. You know. But
Yeah.
going right back to patch notes, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, we could talk a little bit about how Roadhog seems to be way more meta in some tiers than others. Like, I think tier 2 is all in on
Yeah.
Roadhog. Like, the teams with the good Roadhogs
Yeah.
are just winning, but I feel like in tier 3, it definitely does not matter as much.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like Solar Flares just played a team that was just they were playing the Zarya Hog, and we tried to mirror. We hadn't practiced it. We didn't look good. We don't like any of those maps. We hate Ilios and Hanamura. We lose Hana. Like we preseason we were winning like every single scrim, but we would always lose Hanamura.
Yeah.
Like every time. So like that's no sweat off our back, but we just lose Hanamura. That's just what it is. And I don't know, they just made the Zarya Hog work. They just played it well and we didn't answer it. So it's like if a team can play it well and maybe force you onto it, they're gonna play it better. But I've been saying it since day one. I think this Roadhog Zarya thing is a strictly ranked thing. Nobody can do Lucio speed, you know, in ranked. Nobody can, you know, just really hard focus stuff in ranked. Hog just
Yeah.
gets away with more stuff. But, you know, can carry over to league play a little bit in tier 3. But I mean, he's being played in tier 4 too. I hear tier 4 players, they're playing him in games. I have not seen many this recently, but I know one of the Blueprint games I saw him mirroring Hogs and there was a Hog difference I heard. But, you know, just what I hear.
Yeah.
Who really knows? I just don't see Hog getting 1 extra damage per pellet, 25 extra damage as a whole per shot, and really saying with a slower rate of fire that he's shredding shields that much harder and shredding the game that much harder. I just I think he's good. Don't get me wrong, because I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for that. But
Yep.
I kind of think if teams like really think about it and like, he's not gonna be in Overwatch League. That's my hot take right there. I don't think Roadhog sees an ounce of Overwatch League. I don't. They're too good to let a hook kill them. Like, are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe they hit way more shots in between them, but like you were kind of saying, it seems
That's
like
true.
it is like the meta, the most effective tactic on the ranked ladder. But I think when you start going into teams that, have scrimmed all summer long, or like Overwatch League teams who have been on a couple shields forever at this point, I think the most effective thing as a team is to still just run those two barriers, just block the hooks, and just kind of make the space in the way that you're used to. If like a Zarya Hog ends up beating, a high ranked team, then it's kind of still an anomaly even on this current patch. I think he'll get some playtime. And Owl, I think there were maybe some Overwatch League games yesterday, but I don't know what got played.
Probably. I don't know what patch it is either.
I'm pretty sure it's this one. Now, I think
Is it? Okay.
yesterday was the first day on this patch, but I don't know how much Roadhog got played. I think he is just going to shine a lot in like tier 2 and maybe tier 1. I think tier 3 is still going to be likely 2 shields or maybe the Rein Zarya, on those Rein Zarya maps. Because I think a lot of the T3 off tanks are Zarya Sigma players on their strongest heroes, and you always just want to be playing your strongest heroes,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. What else
Any
we want to talk
chat?
about?
What's chat saying? What's chat yelling at us? I feel like they're yelling.
Man, ups and downs of the ladder are very sad. I'm the worst tier 3 DPS, Nick Fritz. Jace the Ace, 80 out of 100 ranking.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Are
no
we
one's mad.
ever gonna
Okay.
do like the ratings?
I think if we do, we would need to get through way more this season. Like, not enough has happened.
At least 2 more weeks.
Like,
yeah.
At least.
If we want to be accurate about it, which
we
we do, like I don't want to just throw numbers out there.
And at the end of the day, no matter how accurate we get, we are just throwing numbers out there, Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I think when it really comes down to it, I think we would also need like a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 4 consultant on that. Because like I
We're
don't
not
like
playing
there's so
tier
many
1
teams
teams,
in tier 2.
We're not playing tier
Yeah,
2 teams.
I'm not-
like I'm getting a pretty
not seeing all
good
the
look
tier
at
4.
them, but yeah, don't know
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, we play tier 3, so we care. We're more passionate about tier 3.
I'm more passionate about tier 2, but go on.
Well, I mean, because we're playing it at Brick. I like tier 2 as well. It's a great tier. I've been wanting to
better.
play in it for,
It's just better.
ever since I got into tier 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm a big fan. It's a little sloppier, but there's still Overwatch going on. Like, that's what I love about Blueprint. It's like, if we do play a Tracer, the pulse bomb's going in the grav,
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't always happen like that in tier 2, Sometimes you just chuck Ys. It's Y time, baby.
Yep. Ultimate time.
Anyway, ultimate time.
All right, man. Well, I think we can pretty much wrap this one up. We've talked about a whole heck of a lot. Patch notes, power rankings, scores, games of the week, a little bit of predictions. So I think now's a good time to end it, if any. You got anything left that you want to say?
I mean, do we want to finish the patch notes, or do we just want to let it go? Because, I mean, they're not, the changes to me aren't insane.
No, they're not that crazy
just
to
a
me
lot of
either. I mean, you can
8
read them,
changes.
chat. You can do a little
Yeah,
Google search
go
yourself
read
and
'em.
read them. But I don't know. I think it's a little interesting that they're trying to move hit scan out of the meta. I kind of get it. I mean, I do get it. I already said my argument for it. I think if you're playing DPS on Overwatch, you're playing it to get something different. And every game has hit scans, so I think those hit scan nerfs are fine. I'd like to see him maybe change Roadhog a little bit. Who knows? But
Yeah. I just hope people just start dumpstering Roadhog. That's my prayer.
I think
I've
he
been
can
playing
still
him
get
only in
run
ranked.
over.
But yeah, I don't see where 25 extra damage per shot is. I think that's just a hilarious number to say. This is the pinnacle hero.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
No.
my personal opinion.
Roadhog's not
He's
the top
so
of the
fat.
mountain.
Like, think about it. If a team really dedicates their time to countering him, they're gonna have still the Duracell battery of the Overwatch,
Yeah.
you know, tank line. Like, so much all charge is from that man. I feed so much without dying, so much. Anyway, I'll ramble on that all day.
All day, all day. Yeah, Roadhog's just an alt battery. He's definitely not the best of the best tanks when you make your way up the ladder or like up the tiers. But I guess that's all for that one. You want to just plug your Twitter and let's get out of here?
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here before people tweet at me about Roadhog being the best thing in every tier, because that's gonna happen. I'm ready for it. But my Twitter is at Neely_OW. My Twitch is CamNeely66. I'm pretty inactive on that, but give it a follow. It'll make me feel good. That's it for me.
All right, man. Yeah, my Twitter is the same as the Twitch, alt_charge. You can see my power rankings. I'm going to put them up right after the podcast, and you can make fun of them or tell me how good they are because they're pretty good. And yeah, just give me a follow on there. This podcast is going up on YouTube, so if you're not following the YouTube, you might as well be. And if you're not following this Twitch channel, you might as well be. But that's all I got. We'll see you on episode 5.
I hear your voice.